Oh, bloody hellfire, Barb. It's that bloody noodle legs again. Oh, he's never off the bloody telly. Hey, Barb, give us a remote. Sure there's something on the other channel. So today we're looking at the Royal Family, my favourite sitcom. I just thought I'd give you guys a little bit of look at it because it is my favourite show. If you remember, I did my top 10 favourite sitcoms. This was my favourite sitcom of all time, and it's the Royal Family. Fantastic show, it really is, and I'm a huge fan. This is the box set, which has got every episode. I'll give you a little breakdown of some of the series stuff and that a bit more in the video. I've also got a few other bits to do with the Royal Family. You may have a look behind me on the wall there. Let me have a see if I can get that to go up there. There we go. There's the signed picture by Ricky Tomlinson of who plays Jim. Oh, that's cool. Let me put that back, guys. I also have a board game of the Royal Family, and I'll show you this a bit later on. What I'll do, I'll set it up on the spider table, and I'll show you what this looks like. This is the board game of the Royal Family. So anyway, we'll get on to the actual bit of the series now about the show. I'm sorry about my really bad impression of Jim Royal, but I had to do it because I just love it. Right, so the Royal Family, it's made up of 3 seasons, and it's got loads of sort of like Christmas sort of specials. So I'll run you through a little bit of them all. Series 1 basically is set before Dave and Denise are married, and it's like the build up to their weddings, and there's quite a few episodes about the build up towards their wedding, and them arguing before the wedding. Is the wedding going to take place or not? And that's pretty much what season 1's about. If you've never seen the Royal Family, basically it's about a family, and that's what it is. It's about them, like a normal family in Lancashire and Manchester, sitting there watching the telly every night, and the sort of conversations that go on. And when you watch it, it sort of like rings like so many families of that time and time before it. When I watch it, I think, yeah, that's just like my family, and it's and that's what's fantastic about it. You can relate to it, and it was such a really cleverly written show. So that's what the show's about. Anyway, yeah, so season 1 was based pretty much before they got married, Denise and Dave. Obviously, Denise and Dave. Denise is the daughter of Jim and Barbara. They've got a daughter called Denise, and they've got a son called Anthony. Uh, Lazy sod. And Denise is engaged to Dave. Um, that's the family. Next door neighbours, you've got Joe, you've got Cheryl, and you've got Joe's wife, which name's just forgotten now. Oh, what am I like? Mary. So yeah, they're your neighbours. You got Jim's friend, always popping round, Twiglet, old Twiggles. He's always popping around, Twiggy, and he's a dodgy character. He sort of sells Nick stuff on the sly, and he's in and out of prison quite a lot. But yeah, he's a fantastic character. So they're the main sort of character. And of course, you got Nana, who comes to visit, who's Jim's mother-in-law, and yeah, who doesn't particularly really get on well with her. But if you watch the series, you'll see that relationship, and it's really funny. There's not one episode that is bad on any of these series, not one. Every single episode's a classic. Fantastic. Series 2, Dave and Denise are now married, and she becomes pregnant, and it's all based around her sort of pregnancy. And the last episode of that series, the Christmas episode, um, she goes into labour to have the baby, and it's quite funny. Like right near the end of the episode, um, Barbara says to her, "Oh, Denise, your baby's going to be born on Christmas Day," and Jim goes, "Jesus Christ." So it's just so funny. It's just cool. It's just clever little bits of humour in there. And Jim is just my favourite character. He's amazing. So that's season 2. Season 3 is they've had the baby David. Um, so baby David's now into it, and and it's like them bringing up the baby and how reckless and what rubbish sort of parents they are. It's so funny. It's amazing. So they're the 3 series. So there's one before they get married, one after they get married and they have pregnancy, and then the third series is when they've had the baby. Then there's loads of specials, so we'll go through those with you. The Queen of Sheba is one. It's a bit of a sad one. That's when Nana passes away. She gets ill. But she's living at the house now because obviously they've got space, and she's living in where the front room was. So that's she passes away in that one. So that's a bit of a sad episode, but there we go. The next Christmas special was the new sofa. That's the very first episode. I think there's only about 2 ever programs weren't shot in the house. This one was at Dave and Denise's house. It's Christmas Day, and they go round there for dinner with Dave and Denise and Dave's parents, Dave Senior. So that's that one. I might not say these in order, guys, because they're not in order in this box. Another one is Joe's Crackers. That's another really good funny. That's a real Christmassy sort of episode, that one. I think I've jumped one actually. Yeah, the Golden Egg Cup, I think is the next one. That's when it starts off with everyone hiding behind the curtains and the sofas and that because it's Jim and Barbara's anniversary. So they all give them like a surprise party, and Anthony, their son, gives them some money. He's grown up now and left home. He gives them some money for their anniversary for a holiday, and they go to Prestatyn in Wales to like a caravan where they're most upset when they get there because there's no chip pan. That one is when they go on a little holiday, and Dave and Denise go with them, and that's a hysterical episode. Then you've got Joe's Crackers. That one, I believe, is the one when Mary's died, and they're having like dinner at there, and Joe and Cheryl are going to be moving away because obviously Mary's died, and it's quite funny because he recites the poem that he read out at the wedding. I mean, not the wedding, the funeral. And it's so funny. It's a really good watch. And Anthony's there with his girlfriend, who's pregnant. So that's a really, really cool episode. And there's another one called Barbara's Old Ring. That one, yeah, that one, she loses her wedding ring, and she can't find it. And Jim finds a scratch card, and he wins a couple of £100 on the scratch card, and he doesn't tell anyone. So at the Christmas dinner, they're like, it all comes out, and Barbara's so upset that she knows he found it, and cashed it in, and didn't tell anybody, and she's really, really upset about it. But when she finds out actually what he's done, he's bought her a new wedding ring, and he's put it in there. There's loads of little sentimental sort of episodes in the program, loads, and it's fantastic, because although it's funny and they argue a lot, and there's a lot of comedy in there, and there's a lot of like piss taking of each other in there, they ultimately they love each other, and there's loads of really sentimental bits, especially when Nana dies, when Barbara gets her new ring. Also when Denise is in the up in the bathroom when she's waters break, and there's and also before the wedding with Jim and Denise, and with Anthony. Jim's always on at Anthony the whole program, saying how lazy he is, and we never get a job, apart from McDonald's and things. And then, but there's one episode when Anthony's going to London, and he's sort of like gives him some really comforting advice, and Anthony's sort of like all, step back by it all. So that's really cool, and that's why I love the show so much, because It hits with every emotion. It really does. It hits you with laughter. It hits you with familiarity because you can sort of relate to them because it's like sitting at home with everyone you know. All the characters that come into the show, there's loads. You know, catching Carol and some of Twiggy's girlfriends, and when Cheryl, next door neighbour, is a sort of large girl. Well, she's not in real life, but she's made out to be a large girl, and she's gets all these different puts all these ads in the papers for boyfriends, and they're like really bring desperation and stuff like that. And there's some amazing episodes in this program. My favourite episode of the show is the one when Barbara's supposed to be in the midst of having the change, the menopause, and she's had an argument. The show begins. They've had an argument. You don't see it. Anyway, she walks out, and when Dave and Denise vote, she walks out, and then Dave, Denise, and Jim are sitting there watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and stuff like that. It's just a great, great show, and the way it was shot, it's just my favourite episode. So she walks out, and Denise goes, "Oh, she's go after her dad." He goes, "No, I'm watching this." And he goes, "Well, girl, she might get knocked over by a van. She's on, she's not thinking straight. She's on the change." And he goes, "Well, we can always put a claim in, you know." And it's just so funny, and I just love these sort of like these sort of funny jokes, and that's what gives it. And it's got a real charm to the show. There's sad news for the show. Obviously, we lost our Denise in real life. She's passed away, and obviously Twiggy's passed away, and Nana's passed away. So some of the cast has quite passed away now, and it was really upsetting when Denise passed away because she's still young, and I know that they were talking of making another Christmas special, but unfortunately that never came about. So that, guys, is my favourite show, The Royal Family, and please check it out. It was filmed in the 90s. It's really funny. It is a slow burn comedy, but the characters are fantastic. The humour is so sarcastic, and then it's my sort of humour, and it's just all there. I love them so much. I've named my Beatles after them, haven't I? Jim and Barbara. So I love them so much because of that. So please check The Royal Family out if you've never seen it. What I'm going to do now, guys, is set up the Royal Family board game, okay, which I got some time ago now, and I'll just show you what that looks like before we end the video. Right then, guys, so here we go. I've set up the board game. As you can see, it's sort of based on the the living room watching the TV, and they're all in their normal places. You've got Anthony sitting in his armchair. Dave and Denise always sit there with Barbara on the sofa, and Cheryl always ends up on the puff. And there's Jim sitting in his armchair. And on the table, there's loads of club biscuits. Now, as you can see, the game sort of starts. You all start there. You start with a 6, and you move on. And there's different squares to move around. You've got one squares with like it says my arse. You've got ones with a question mark, ones with cups of tea, and ones with a TV remote. And then you go around, and in the corners there's pop out to the Feathers and miss a turn. Feathers is the local pub. Again, same all the way around. So you brew up a cuppa, miss a turn, and then it's pop out to the offie, miss a turn, and then you go away back again to the finish. So basically what you've got to do, obviously, you choose a character and you work your way around the board. Now, when you land on the My Arse section, you've got a card that says My Arse. So these are all different. I think these are just sort of like things from the show, or just things to sort of like it says like gorillas are vegetarian, so you've got to make it sound like a gorilla, I suppose, for that one, for My Arse. Now, when you get onto a TV one, you've got these TV trivia cards. So you pick up, and you've got different questions about TV. what does the letters MASH stand for? Which we all know is Mobile Army Surgical Hospital, right? So that's what it is. So when it's your turn and you land on the TV, someone else will pick up the TV trivia card and ask you the question. If you get it right, you get another go. If you get it wrong, you stay there. If you land on the cup, that's just you. You just there's nothing to do on that. You just wait your next turn. That's like a chill out moment, I suppose, on the cup of tea. If you land on the question mark, you've got another question on one of these. These are question things here. Jim has gone to the Carsey with the newspaper. Pinch 2 club biscuits on the box from his box. Right. So what happens is when you start the game, you put the club biscuits, you evenly distribute them towards everyone. And you put club biscuits in each box. As you can see, they've all got their own boxes. Anthony, Barbara, Cheryl, Jim, Denise and Dave. They've all got their own boxes. So they've got all these club biscuits in there. So when you get things like that, that's when you can steal some of their club biscuits. Now, when you get to the end of the game, the ones with the most biscuits, I believe, is the winner. And that's how the game works. It's quite cool. And it comes with the instructions, obviously, in this game. That's so cool. I got this absolutely years and years ago. I don't think it's available anymore. Look how colour of the paper. You can see how old it is. Yeah, and I've still got it all complete. And it's even more... got even more of these club biscuits. So... yeah, so right in the middle there's the table. So you have some. I think you all start with about 5 club biscuits, right? If I remember right, you all have 5 clubs, and the rest are on the table. Because some of the questions will say, you know, pick up 2 club biscuits because you want them, so you can put them into your box. And like I said, the one with the most at the end is the winner. So that's how the game works. So I just thought I'd show you that game. So that is the Royal Family board game. So there you go, guys. So that's my Royal Family board game, which is really, really cool. If ever you come round to my abode, you end up probably playing that or watching the series. Anyway, guys, thanks for checking out this video, and which is a little bit of all about the Royal Family sort of thing, really, just to give you a little insight to the shows and why I love it so much. Thanks for watching. I'll do some more of these because I've got a couple more like shows that I really into, and I've sort of collected sort of things like Law and Hardy and stuff like that. So I'll go through some of those at some point. Until next time, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I'll see you all soon.